Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Dani. So I have another what's for dinner video for you guys, and on this first night I went ahead and made some beef stew. These are all of the ingredients that you're going to be using, and as always I'm going to go ahead and list all of the ingredients down below in the description box for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. I started off by cutting up some green bell peppers, some onion, and some cilantro. And I'm just going to use this as basically my sauce for the beef stew. I'm adding all of these ingredients to my blender and just adding some water to that so that it'll blend a little bit easier. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set that to the side until I use it in just a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding my meat to my pan with some hot oil. And I'm not trying to cook this all the way through, I'm just trying to get some color on it. And to this I added some all-purpose flour, some oregano, a little bit of cumin, and some adobo seasoning. As you can see, my meat has some really nice color on it now. It's not all the way cooked through, but we just wanted a little bit of color on there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my crock pot. In that same pan, we're gonna go ahead and add the mixture that we set aside a little earlier, and we're just gonna go ahead and start making our sauce. I added some minced garlic to this, and I went ahead and just with my hands just roughly cut up some fresh cilantro and added that to it. So I thought that my camera was recording, but it actually wasn't. So off camera, I added some bay leaves, and as you can see, I added about half of this large can of crushed tomatoes, and I also added 1 packet of sazon Goya. You can find this at Walmart, Publix, most places should have this. You're just going to give everything a good mix, and then we're going to add this sauce into our crock pot on top of our meat. Then you're going to add in your choice of vegetables. I chose to add in some potatoes, some celery, and some carrots. Now I'm going ahead and adding in some water, and I added in about 1.5 of these little bottles, but it really depends on how much liquid you want in your beef stew. So because I did add in some water, then I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit more seasoning in there, and I'm just adding some more of this adobo seasoning. Then we're going to cook this on high for 4 hours. So this is what the beef stew looks like after it's been cooking for 4 hours. It looks so good, so I'm gonna go ahead and plate this up. So our favorite way to serve beef stew is just with a side of white rice. The next recipe that I have for you guys is a really easy crock pot chicken that I use in chicken tacos. So I'm starting off by just adding 2 chicken breasts into my crock pot. And to this, I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1 can of rotel. I'm also going to add in 1 packet of taco seasoning. I also like to add in some garlic powder, and I don't really measure my spices, so I just kind of eyeball this. Then I'm going to add in just a little bit of this adobo seasoning. And the last thing that I'm going to be adding is just a 1/2 cup of chicken broth, And this is just basically so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the crock pot. You just want to make sure that everything is mixed in and incorporated really well, and then we're going to cook this on high for 4 hours. Once your chicken is fully cooked, then you can go ahead and start shredding it or cutting it into little pieces. So we ended up serving ours on just some corn tortillas with some lettuce, cilantro, onions, and then a little bit of sour cream on top. So the last recipe that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is just a really easy baked ziti recipe. Like I said, everything will be down in the description box. We're going to go ahead and start off by following the package instructions and just boiling up some penne pasta. If you don't have this kind of pasta, you can just opt for a different one. While my pasta is cooking, I went ahead and started heating up some oil in a pan, and I'm just going to start browning up some ground beef. We personally don't like too much grease in our ground beef, so I'm going to go ahead and just drain some of this, and then I'm going to add in some garlic powder, as well as some dried parsley. Then I'm going to add in some dried oregano. And my favorite adobo seasoning. Once your ground beef is done cooking, then you can go ahead and add in your choice of spaghetti sauce. I just got this one from Aldi. We're going to be adding some spices to this anyways, just to kind of doctor it up. I'm just going to add in just a little bit of garlic powder, dried oregano, and some adobo seasoning to the sauce. At this point, you can go ahead and start preheating your oven to 375. Now that our pasta has finished cooking, I went ahead and drained it and added it to a 9x13 dish. And I'm just going to add in some alfredo sauce. Once again, you can add in your choice of alfredo sauce. And I went ahead and added some water to that jar and just shook it up just to get the remainder of the sauce out. I personally like to season this part of the pasta as well. I just don't want the pasta to be bland. It doesn't taste too salty or anything in our opinion, and I'm just adding the same kind of seasonings that I used before. And I'm going to be using this 4-cup bag of mozzarella cheese, and I just add about a handful or two to this mixture just to make sure that it has a cheesy flavor on this layer. Once you have mixed in everything, then you can go ahead and add that meat sauce that we made earlier and just spread that evenly all on top. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the shredded mozzarella cheese from that bag. And we do like a lot of cheese on our pasta, so I am going to add in everything that was left in that 4-cup bag. Then I'm going to add in just a little bit of dried parsley on top of the cheese. Your oven should be preheated by now, and you can go ahead and bake this for about 20 minutes or until the cheese is golden on top. This is definitely one of our favorite comfort meals. This is so good. Just look at that bubbly cheese. My kids love this meal. I went ahead and served this with a side of steamed broccoli and a side of garlic bread. So that is everything for today's video. I do hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.